Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is trying to gain momentum right now, hours before a town hall tonight, right here on News Nation. But President Biden, who just wrapped up his Bidenomics speech in Chicago an hour ago, still holds a strong lead in the polls, and he's also the incumbent president, which is tough to go up against. A long way to go, though, before Election Day. Could Kennedy give the president a legitimate challenge in a primary? Here to talk more about it, senior staff editor for the New York Times Opinion, David Swerdlick. David, thank you for being with us. So RFK Jr. is a familiar name, right? He's a Kennedy, so you can start there. He's also known, secondly, for his views on vaccines. What else do we know about his politics, his vision for the future on big issues like the economy and immigration, the threat of Russia or China?
Thanks, Marnie. Yeah, RFK Jr. is someone who is known to people because of that famous name, and he's leveraging that to try and be the alternative Democratic candidate. Let's get one thing out of the way first. We've all seen that video of him doing push-ups. He's jacked. For a guy in his 60s, he has an enviable physique, but I don't think ultimately that's going to be the selling point. I think he wants to go in there and say that President Biden is establishment, that he hasn't done enough on the border, that he's questioning vaccine policy. He will probably go after Hunter Biden, and he will probably talk about what more could be done on the environment. On the other hand, President Biden is going to look at Mr. Kennedy and say, look, we're doing as much as we can on the environment with the Inflation Reduction Act, with Republicans controlling one house of Congress. 70% of Americans are vaccinated, and they're glad about it. And if he's smart, he'll say something, President Biden, like, I admired your uncle, the first Catholic president. I'm honored to be the second Catholic president. I think President Biden should welcome this challenge. He'll get a sparring partner, and it'll look like he's not being coronated by the Democratic Party.
Right. And David, I mean, we know this, an incumbent has not lost their primaries nomination, an incumbent president in modern U.S. history. So although he may be a threat, is he a legitimate candidate? Is he a potential legitimate threat to a Biden presidency?
Well, there's a new St. Anselm College poll out for New Hampshire voters that shows Biden with 68% and Mr. Kennedy, I believe, with only 9%. So Mr. Kennedy has a lot of ground to catch up on. He has the town hall tonight on News Nation. I'll be watching. I think a lot of people want to hear the case he's going to make, but he needs to give Democratic voters a reason to abandon ship. And if it's just that he is skeptical about vaccine policy, or it's just that he doesn't think the president has been sufficiently progressive on this or that policy issue, I don't think that's going to do it. He can probably, again, hammer home border issues, because I think that's an area where Democrats are on kind of rocky footing in general. But I think largely Mr. Kennedy, right now at least, is going on his name and the fact that Democrats have, for the last however many months, cast around and thought, well, Biden's doing okay, but do we want an alternative?
Right. And then you've got a group of people who say he could be a useful weapon for the GOP right now, a crowded field. Let's focus on this for a minute, muddy the waters. We'll all be watching. David Swerdlick, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Marnie.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.